Do you need a second chance? Possibly a reinvention? Well, that's the fearless question of the week. And we're going to be talking to Mark Traphagen about it. And if you are familiar with Mark at all, you would probably expect him to be talking about Google Plus, authorship, SEO, anything really kind of deep into that area. And he's one of the best. He's known as an expert within the industry. And obviously, if you spent any time with the show, you know that when we bring somebody on, we're probably not going to talk to them about the thing that you think we're going to talk to them about. So, no sense to break the mold there. And what I want to talk to you today about is, the topic of the week is, second chances and reinventions, and why I think it's so important, and definitely why it's so important with where business and just life is at today. So you're probably at a certain point in your life where you feel as if it's going to be the way it's going to be no matter what you do, or you're just kind of settled in. You're hunkered down. You've made your peace with your current situation in life. And the fact that it becomes so common for people to just willingly accept this and just kind of blindly go about their business without questioning whether or not they can create something new, something different. Can they strive for something more? That is really a strange thought for me. I guess, sharing a little bit of my story, and I kind of did this in the very first, post here on the site. I'll link up to that on the show notes if you get to fearlesslyquestioning.com/ it would be 8-1. There was probably a 3-4 year period where I had kind of just settled in and said, this is it. I'm good with it. I can deal with, my position. I mean, I was always, trying to improve and do better within, my career in insurance, which I still do to this day. But I had kind of lost that fire, that passion to make a difference in someone's life on a much bigger scale. And that's kind of the reinvention, of myself with this new project of Fearlessly Questioning is to try and go beyond. And I try to do that within my work within insurance, and I'm still trying to do that. It's just an uphill battle, and trying to figure that out is not easy, and it's, one that I will keep working at every day. And I definitely just wanted, just kind of this freedom here to let loose and to be able to do that in a much more open and direct way, to where you can kind of come along for that, and we can help you find a second chance and, create a reinvention. And that's what Mark is going to talk to you about. He's actually done it. He's actually done it from, coming from being a teacher and now being a leading expert in search engine optimization, content marketing, Google Plus. All that stuff doesn't even seem possible. And the most impressive part is that he didn't even do this until he was, over 50 years old. Mark, as you will hear in his little rant coming up, he's just turned 57 years old. 57 years old. Now, my short 30 years here on Earth here, I've had a few reinventions and second chances myself, but I mean nothing to the extent where Mark has gone from something as common as teaching, and I mean teaching has a lot of its own skills and it's right, but I mean something just common. Teachers there's hundreds of them in every city, to being one of the top people, in the digital space as it relates to, Google Plus authorship and all that fun stuff. So it's very interesting. We're going to kind of talk to him about that, and hopefully what you're going to take away from that is how to, understand why he was able to do it, why he was able to do it successfully, and how you can apply it to whatever it is that you want to reinvent yourself as, whatever second chance you want to go discover and bring to yourself, bring to your life. And that is fascinating to me because I guess I don't think there's anything more sad than somebody, whether they're in their 30s, like I am, or even in their 20s, definitely in their 40s and into their 50s, where they've just kind of settled in and accepted where they're at in life, and not even entertain the possibility that there could be something better out there, or that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. And it's that lack of motivation, that ambition, that I hope this conversation sparks and inspires, and helps you to discover, because it's not it's not an ABC family movie moment here where all your dreams come true, everything's possible, and it's always going to be a happy ending. I don't think that's what we're going to be talking about. It's what I hope for you to take away from just today and Mark's talk tomorrow, and obviously our live conversation on Thursday the 28th, is that you are not limited by your past success or failure, and that as long as you apply yourself, do the work, and figure it out, you're going to give yourself a pretty good chance to achieve the results that you're hoping to achieve moving forward. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's kind of what we talked about with Chris Brogan a couple weeks ago, was the idea of growing up and getting out of your own way and just figuring out how to get to this point, how to get to the point where you are able to reinvent, you're able to create a second chance. And it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy if you're stuck in a job that is very limiting as far as the freedom, the creativity that you have. It's hard to think outside the box, and once you've thought inside the box for so long, you don't even see the box anymore. And that is kind of scary, in my opinion, because you always want to be able to see the box and to know when and where you need to step out of it. I'm not just saying that you need to live outside the box permanently. I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to stop you, and I don't think anybody should. But you need to be aware of those limitations. If you can't even see the limitations, then you're never going to be able to go past them. And hopefully that's what Chris helps you identify. Hopefully that's what Mark will help you identify and move beyond. And one of the big things he talks about is just doing the work and finding the interest and the passion. And this is going to be a little bit of a tangent here, but and it is definitely something that I hope to explore a little bit more in depth on a future episode. But talking about finding your passion and doing something that you love is kind of at the core of what prevents people from doing this, is because they hear that and it just sounds a little fairy tale-ish, and to some extent it is. And I do think that you need to find something that does spark that something in you that you have to be excited, you have to want to be able to do it, and that doesn't always mean it's something that you love. Again, just a quick backstory for me. I started out of college trying to be a musician, a professional musician, playing in bands, and that's what I wanted to try and do. And I quit a lot of jobs. I passed up a lot of jobs. I worked some not fun jobs trying to do that. And I was never able to take the necessary risks to make that happen. I mean, one, just going to college and spending 4 years not playing music seriously, I think was a huge mistake. And then getting out, I never was able to align myself with the right people, or put myself in a position, whether it was mostly geographically to where I would essentially leave a comfort zone, leave my hometown, or I guess leave my home region of Northeast Ohio to go pursue these dreams. And I don't know. But the point is that I did that for about 4 years. And when I wasn't playing music, I was trying to run a music website, doing album reviews, interviewing, bands. And we interviewed some successful bands, and we had a decent run. But, again, if you're going to find out really quickly if you love what you do or not, if you're doing it every day. Because even if you love it, there's work in something that you love. And the biggest risk you run when this whole finding your passion, reinventing yourself, and finding that second chance is that thing that you love could be turned into something that you hate really quickly, because you will quickly find out that you loved it because it wasn't something that your livelihood depended on. And maybe the business isn't exactly what you had hoped it to be, and that is something very important to figure out, because you could love something. You could love, let's say you like making cakes, but let's say you start a cake business and you're making 50 cakes a day. Chances are you might not like it as much anymore, because you were just making one cake every 2-3 months. That's a terrible example because I hate cake, but you know what I'm saying. It's just it would ruin that experience for you. It would ruin something that you love. And there's a fellow on Google Plus by the name of Eric Walker, and he wrote a post several months ago now, probably, but talking about passion versus practice. And we need to find our passions within our practice. And you might have a job, and you might not be fully exploring your passion and letting your passions kind of spread out within that job. And that's a possibility for a reinvention in itself. Is that something that you should be doing? For me, I just kind of, like I said, through that whole story of not making it as a musician or successful on the web, my first go around led me to work for my family business. And at first, I wasn't fully exploring my passions, and then ultimately, I got into creating things online and making videos and writing blog posts and being successful with that, and that really served that creative side of me. And then more importantly, and another huge theme of this show is kind of health and fitness and nutrition and all that fun stuff, and I kind of brought that into the fold as well. It's, listen, we're talking about health insurance. I am primarily. It's like, well, what's that first word? What's the most important word there? It's health. It's your health. And what if I said, instead of trying to say, I'm going to offer you the, find you the lowest price plan, well, I'm going to try and improve your health to lower your costs. Maybe if we can get you off a couple of these medications that you're taking, maybe your health insurance experience is going to be a little bit better. Maybe you're not going to be going to the doctor so often because you're a lot healthier, you're a lot stronger, and you are not as dependent on that system. So really finding the passion in there, I think, was a key for me too. So it's not necessarily that you have to reinvent yourself entirely outside of a whole new job. You have to just have a midlife crisis no matter where you're at in your life and just throw it all away, and then go live in a shed for 6 months and grow a beard and come out and all of a sudden have this fantastic new you. That's not what we're saying. It could be small reinventions and second chances within these existing pockets of your life already. So whether it is within your career, whether it is within your personal life, let's say again, you've always just thought it's impossible to get into shape and stay into shape with your work. You have your kids, you have your responsibilities outside of that, and you can't seem to set it up with your life. And again, it's never too late to try. And these are the things that we want to help you do here at Fearlessly Questioning is, first, understand where you need to question, what needs to be addressed, and then from there, how to take action and how to be successful with that action. Because if you don't, then it's going to be a pretty rough go at it. And that's the most important thing. And I've kind of gone way off here, way off on these tangents. But it's really about finding your passion within your practice. It's really about, if you want to go full throttle on this and find your passion of passions and turn that into a business, I'm not going to stop you. But just understanding those, again, knowing where the box is and how far outside of it you want to think and when you want to think outside of it. And, coming back to the very first topic that we had, breaking the rules is, just which rules do you want to try and break and how crazy do you want to get with it? So we'll be back with Mark. He's going to tell you a little bit about his story and provide you with a little help. And then we're going to do the full thing live Thursday, August 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we hope that you come back and check in with us there. Of course, links will be associated with this thing all over the place. So click that link to RSVP on the Google Plus event page, and we will see you there. I'm Joey Giangola. Take it easy.